Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2018 with Blackburn Rovers. It is a summary episode, so there's not going to be any matches in this. We're just going to have a look at some of the performances throughout the season, some of our highlights of players and so on and so forth. So, if you didn't see the last episode, you've missed something very, very important, and that is the fact that we are FA Cup champions. We are the champions of the FA Cup. We won that damn thing, comfortably I'd say, against Brighton. I don't know whether Brighton got promoted. Maybe they haven't. I mean, we're literally like the day after the FA Cup final. But we do have some of our end of season awards and things I think have just come in. So, I haven't even seen these yet. Players inducted into the Blackburn overall best 11 squad. So, Gustavo Ortuzo has made it in there. For the forward, having accumulated 130 appearances and scored 80 goals. That's pretty impressive. Ivan Urukalo also, I think he's made it onto the bench by the looks of it. Weirdly, that team at the moment, you've still got David Raya, you've still got, Stevie Simpson in there, Alfie Jones, Xavier Boulistix and Jamal. Some of these players haven't been here for years. Dennis Montoya's in there, Michael Gasser's in there. So, of the players that still play for us, Montoya, Daminov, Ortuzo, Paul Oakdina, he's still here. He's been out on loan. I'll show you him in a minute. He's had a very good season, but I'm surprised only Ortuzo and Urukalo's not even on the starting 11 yet. End of season awards then. So, Pasquale Solé gets Fans Player of the Year comfortably, 76% for Solé. Ortuzo getting 15%, 6% for Gomez Rigo as well. Dennis Montoya gets Goal of the Season, we'll have a look at that in a second. Gill, Signing of the Season, surprised by that. I feel like there were probably other players, but Gill gets Signing of the Season. Pasquale Solé also gets Young Player of the Year. Stats-wise, Solé, 40 goals he scored. Average rating of 7.6, 22 assists as well. He was involved in 62 goals. 62 goals. Best pass completion was our goalkeeper of Gill with 90%. Ortuzo, 11 Man of the Match awards. Markovic and Popovic getting 9 yellow cards each. And Torres, Gomez Rigo, Luke Morgan and Charlie Briggs all getting 1 red card each. Let's have a look at this goal from Dennis Montoya against Huddersfield. I don't know whether this was captured on footage or not, but we're definitely going to see it now. So, Ortuzo gets the ball from a lofted ball over the top. Headed back, Hassan gets it. Hassan probably has a shot. No, he doesn't. He passes it to Montoya straight into the bottom corner. I remember that goal. I feel like that might have even been on camera as well. But there you go. That's goal of the season. Season review for the year. Blackburn were expected to qualify for the Europa League, but exceeded pre-season hopes by securing Champions League qualification. Rovers were one of the competition's feel-good stories, defying expectations and, owing to an impressive spell of form in September that saw them move into first place, were able to celebrate a job well done. Match of the season was a 5-0 victory against Tottenham. Moment to forget was almost certainly going to be the 6-1 defeat against Chelsea. That there ruined the season. If we didn't lose that badly, if we didn't lose that game, if we won that game, this would be a very different episode right now. Lost in the Champions League semi-final thanks to a Gomez Rigo cock-up in the 94th minute where they scored a penalty and won on away goals. I will never forget that moment. Runner-up in the Premier League, winners of the FA Cup, lost in the Carabao Cup third round to Sunderland. Let's ignore that and pretend that never happened. What are we going to achieve next season, team? What are we going to achieve? Qualify for the Champions League? I think is probably the only option there, really. Every time. Don't know why. Just every time it does it. We're into the next day now. Financial fair play. We have to have failed this, right? End of current Champions League financial fair play, so we're fine on that. However, this one I'm sure we've ballsed up, haven't we? Has ended and the club successfully complying with financial fair play. What? What? How? What do we do? What? How? How do we do? How? What happened? Did we cheat? What did we do? Well, we've complied with FFP. Fair enough, we've been hit with a tax bill because we are now 500k. What? Okay, sure, we've 500k tax bill, sure, whatever. Commercial summary, top selling shirts. This is the most important part, isn't it? Ortuzo number 1, Solé number 2, Montoya number 3, Torres number 4, and Valenta gets number 5. Weirdly, Valenta being number 5 is a strange one to me. I feel like he probably shouldn't have been. I would have thought Fenton might have been on that list. Or possibly Urukalo or Gomez Rigo. Who knows? We get a new scouting budget, not that anyone really cares. Our youth setup is still the best. because that's basically what I keep throwing my money in. Sole breaks goal-scoring record. He's scored 5 more goals than Danny Salvagione now, so Pasquale Sole is our new club top goal scorer, and he's also created more assists than Nenad Kampar did as well. As I mentioned in the last episode, the World Cup is this year. I don't know where it is. I'm not sure where it's being hosted, but it's the 2030 World Cup. We'll have a look in a second. But we have 8 players who have managed to actually qualify for the World Cup and who are actually going. So who are they going to be? But not who I was expecting. It really wasn't. So Andil Maheo has been called up, and so has Sif Haleli Mabambo, both for South Africa. Hassan in the Iran squad. Frank Stakic in the Canada squad. Juan Pablo Velez in the Mexico. Jensen and Bay both make it to the Denmark team. Gustavo Ortuzo in the Brazil squad. Finally, Gustavo Ortuzo has been called up to the Brazil team. He has never played for Brazil in his life, and it's finally happened. He's possibly going to be playing in the World Cup. Where is the World Cup happening? It is happening in Italy. Okay, the World Cup is taking place in Italy. I thought, so England apparently won it last time. I thought we had some players in the national side, but apparently not. They've all been dropped. Maybe they're in the preliminary squad, the 30. So Paul Oakdina and Adam Fenton aren't going to the World Cup. It wasn't all doom and gloom for Brighton. They have been promoted to the Premier League, so next season we're going to be playing against Brighton, a 4-0 victory against Forest in their player final. Well done, Brighton. We are on the 1st of July, and all the awards and whatnot have been given out. Turns out we didn't win anything, really, for the Premier League stuff. So, literally, Gomez Rigo, only award to be given to us, because he got into the Team of the Year. So this is the squad, obviously, and let's take a look. Firstly, I've sorted this by appearances. 57 appearances Ivan Urukalo made for us this season. 37 in the league, so he only played missed one league game. 12 in the Champions League. 7 in the FA Cup, 1 in the Carabao Cup. Ivan Urukalo, can we have a look? Is it reports and is it form or something like that? So, it doesn't even go back far enough, but yeah, you can see there, he plays 90 minutes, week in, week out for us. I mean, he is, I've said this before, I'll say it again, he is my favourite player. Look at how good that guy is. He's only 21 years old. He's got easily 10 years left of this guy, and he's still going to be that good. If not better, he's still going to improve. He's still not at his peak ability yet. 52 games for Boban Stevkovic this season, so he also played a huge amount. He picked up a couple of little injuries, nothing major obviously. Once again, only 21 years old. Also, really, really great footballer. Great as a ball-playing defender. Got plenty of years left in him. Not at his peak by any means. He's potentially got another star to grow. Boban Stevkovic, big bad Boban Stevkovic, who's only 5'10", so he's not as big as I was expecting, and his aggression's 13, so he's not as bad as I make out him to be. But Boban Stevkovic, another great young defender. Gomez Rigo, another one of our back three, played a huge amount of games, 48 games in total for the season, and he's one of my oldest players at 25, and he's still really good. He's not as good as some of the other options, but he's consistent. I think that's the good thing about him. He got a 7.26 average rating for us in the league. Decent player, I think, for the money I spent on him, which was only £9 million, I think we got a decent deal out of him. Some of the other players as well to play in a hell of a lot of games. Pasquale Sole played 52 games, including 2 as a sub. Ortuzo got 41 and 11 off the bench. I believe it's probably 11 off the bench. 36 for Dennis Montoya, 34 for Fenton. Gill played 32, which he actually played a hell of a lot more games over Velez after Velez's absolute shambolic performance. Basuni got 30 until his injury kind of kicked in right at the end of the season. Jensen, Markovic both up there as well. Some players who I didn't think played that many games, like an Alberto Torres or a Nikola Popovic. They're quite high up. 25 games for Torres, 26 for Popovic, Valenta getting 15 and 27 off the bench as well, I've just seen there. That's quite a lot of games. Obviously, goals are what win games, and Pasquale Sole getting 40 goals and 22 assists all season was a spectacular performance. When I signed him from Watford, I wasn't quite sure. I was like, oh, it's a bit of a risk. I think I paid £13 million for him, something like that. 17.75 I paid. There you go. I thought it was a bit of a risk. This season, he has repaid me back countless times over. 29 goals in the league, 12 assists as well. I mean, look at this guy. He can't defend, but he doesn't need to defend. That's someone else's job. Gustavo Ortuzo got 25 goals as well this season with 19 assists, and much like Pascual Soler, he's great. He's a really good footballer. I spent a hell of a lot of money on him. I remember that at the time. That was a big risk. This was his worst season in terms of goals, getting only 19. I mean, he'll be fine. He's actually wanted by Bayern Munich. So he might be off. If we get a decent offer for him, I'm thinking possibly 100 million now, as he's worth 70. He might be going because that 120k wage budget, quite steep. Despite the fact that he only started 15 games all year, Thomas Valenta managed to pick up 12 goals and 5 assists along the way. Really good option, although I feel like I've got better players than him, and I might have bought 2 more strikers, or 3 more, I think 3 more, I've bought 3 more strikers. Why have I done that? I think Valenta, for his age, probably should be getting regular first team football. He's not obviously getting it at me. If someone wants him in the summer, maybe on loan, maybe just for a year, loan him out. He might go out on loan. He's worth £32.5 million, so if someone actually bids for him, we could be laughing. The other player to break the double figures barrier is Andrea Damjanov, of all people, getting 11 goals and 3 assists in all competitions. I think this season was somewhat of a resurgence for him, because obviously I've changed formations as the years go by, and I think this season's probably been one of his more consistent seasons, particularly in the Premier League. So he played 29 in the first year, just 14 in the next, 25 in this season, and I think this was arguably probably his best season for us. Some of the other players on the list getting a decent amount of goals: Adam Fenton picking up 9 with 9 assists, Gomez Rigo 5 and 4 assists, Montoya gets 5 as well, Stevkovic gets 4, Basiuni and Markovic both get 4 as well, Popovic and Torres get 2 each, and then Hassan, Anacic, Lakisevic, Urukalo, Julian Ortiz, maybe that's probably out on loan at Levante, Klaus Jensen, Rodders and Valentin also all getting a goal each. In terms of assists, as you know, Pascual Soler gets the most with 22, Ortuzo on 19, Fenton gets 9 as well, Torres also gets 9, probably most of those from central midfield. Basiuni and Valenta up there with 6 and 5 each. 3 players sat on 4, which is Popovic, Gomez Rigo and Montoya, so we're getting assists from everywhere around the pitch by the looks of it. As I'm sure you're aware, I buy a lot of players and loan out a lot of players, so this is the loaned out players. I just want to kind of show you a few of them because some of them have had ridiculously good seasons. First of all, let's sort by appearances. Dave Shepherd's played 52 games all season at QPR. He's not great. Okay, I've not seen Dave Shepherd. German Cordoba, who is our goalkeeper, is out on loan at Malaga. He's had a very good season, getting an average rating of a 6.85 and a 7.21 in the Spanish Cup. He's going to come back next season. I don't know what I'm going to do with him because he's really good, but he's not as good as the other 2 keepers we've got. James Sani is a player who's spent 2 seasons now out on loan at Montpellier and now Hertha Berlin in Germany. He's real good. I mean, really, really good. He plays as a defence midfielder, which obviously we don't play. I'm going to retrain him when he comes back next season. He's going to be a ball and a midfielder, I think, because I think that's probably the position that suits him best when he comes back. So he's only going to be 23 years old. He's got plenty of time ahead of him. I think next season's the year that he can actually do the business. Frank Stakic, who's out on loan at PAOK in Greece, had a pretty decent season as well. 28 games, 5 goals. One of them was a penalty. 3 assists as well. An average rating of 7.15 in Greece. He's probably going to come back, but I think I want to shift him on because I've got a lot of options in central midfield at the moment, and he's probably, I wouldn't say one of the worst ones, but he's one of the ones who's on a higher wage, and I can probably get a lot more money for him. A couple of players who aren't particularly great at the moment, but they are getting there. Daniel Olwang, German central midfielder / centre-back. I think I wanted to train him up as a central defender. Can't remember. He's been out on loan at Fulham all season, got 36 games in the Championship, 2 goals and 1 assist as well. He looks good. He's 20 years old. Get another 1 or 2 seasons out on loan at someone, and he'll come back and he'll probably slot right into the first team. Julian Ortiz, who I mentioned earlier, who's been out on loan at Levante in Spain. Only 17 starts, but he's had a decent amount of football there. I think he only went in January, actually, so he's played a decent amount of games. I think he probably won't make it into our team. I'd rather loan him out to like a Championship side. Get him playing 40 games a season in the Championship in England will probably be a better fit for him. Similar to Julian Ortiz, Andil Maheo has been out on loan at Stuttgart in Germany, and again, he's good, but I don't think he'll ever make it into our team. He's now 23 years old. I want to loan him out to a Championship side, or maybe even a Premiership side. They might take him. Let's see what happens in the summer. Ivan Petrovic, the Serbian left-back, went out on loan to Everton in the January transfer window. He's had a decent amount of football there. 17 starts, 5 assists, 5 off the bench, 1 goal, 3 assists, 6.95 rating. Decent. Maybe another season out on loan at a Premiership side, and he's going to come back looking better than ever. Another player who went out on loan during January, and that is Nenad Kampar, went to Newcastle. 2 games. Played 2 games, 5 off the bench, got 3 assists, didn't manage to score a goal. I feel like his time may have been wasted. And finally, Paul Oakdina spent an entire season out on loan at Eibar in Spain, in the Spanish first division. What's it called? La Liga, that one. He's scored 16 goals, 12 assists in 30 games. He's been a little bit injury prone, but one thing that I'm really proud of that he's helped do, they've qualified for the Europa League. Eibar have qualified for the Europa League. I think it's possibly, so he's helped convert them from an 11th, 12th, 11th place team to a 6th place finish. I think he can also speak a bit of Spanish now, which is even better. Next season, he will be starting. He has to be breaking into the first team. So we're going to have Ortuzzo, Oakdina, Sole as well. Also, Kampar's going to be coming back. We're going to have 3 more strikers joining me because I'm an absolute idiot. I'm just really excited. Paul Oakdina, he's 23 years old now. He's ready. He is ready for first team football. For next season, we've got a hefty transfer budget. We did have £85 million. It's down to £69 million because I might have spent some of it on some strikers, as I've already mentioned. Our wage budget, we're already over it, but, we always are. As long as we don't go over the big financial fair play one again, I'm sure we'll be fine. Something that I don't really look at too often with you guys is the general tab and the favoured personnel stuff. So, Andrea Damianov is a favoured personnel. He's been here on that list for quite a while. Danny Salvagione as well. He was only here for a season, wasn't he? No, he was here for a very long time, but didn't actually play until the 2026-2027 season. So yeah, he's a favoured personnel as well. Moving on into the icons, Pasquale Sole has joined that list. He was not on that list. Human Tariq is an icon still. Also, he's probably one of the worst head of youth development you'll ever find in the game. Nenad Kampar and Gustavo Ortuzzo also in the icons list. I don't believe we have anyone who's made it into the legends list just yet. Doesn't look like it, no. But I'm hoping Ortuzzo, Kampar, Sole, maybe one of them can jump in there next season. Next season then with Blackburn, we have to be going for the title. We have to probably look at trying to get to the same stage of the Champions League as we did this year. Although I think we kind of overperformed a lot. We definitely overperformed in the Champions League. So I'm hoping for a title challenge. We've got 2 years left. Just 2 years left of this save. Because what I said before, at the end of my contract, we are gone. And I'm getting paid not a lot of money, by the way. For a Premier League manager who's finishing 2nd place, I'm getting paid peanuts. We will end on the 30th of June 2032. So we've got 2 years left. 1 year left at Ewood Park and then 1 season at the newly constructed Ronnie Clayton Park. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Football Manager 2018 with Blackburn Rovers. If you did enjoy, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button and I will see you next season when I have 7 or 8 first team strikers.